Okay, now moving on, we're going to talk about okra for a second. So a few years ago, actually 2015, I was sitting in my dentist waiting room and I picked up a copy of Southern Living and it said on the front, annual seed guide inside. So I flipped, over to the seeds because I love seeds. And then I start looking and the first thing I see is this little section on okra, and I start reading it and it says, or try a Louisiana heirloom such as Stewart Z Best for your gumbo. And I just about had a cow. No, Stewart Z Best is not a Louisiana heirloom. Sorry, Louisiana, it is not. So, and I know that because George and Mary Stewart are the ones that developed Stewart's Z Best okra in their backyard down on South Main Street in Houston in the late 1980s. So, take that, Louisiana. So I am just really strongly about getting this right. So anyway, I was hoping that I'll pass it on to y'all, and then when y'all hear people mislabel it as a Louisiana or heirloom, please correct them. And I wish I had seeds to give out to everybody today, but I don't. But you can get seeds from Baker Creek or Southern Exposure. And I'm going to be growing some from my stock, and hopefully I'll have seeds, when I come, whenever I go around to give classes and stuff, I'll try to keep bringing seeds so I can get this heirloom out there. It's not really an heirloom yet, so this was in the late 80s, and it's got to be, growing for 50 years to be considered an heirloom, so we got 20 more years to go. Anyway, so the seed originated from a planting of Louisiana green velvet. So Louisiana did have a little bit to do with it. But the Louisiana green velvet, the seed came from George and Mary's friend and neighbor named Joe Ziegler. And that's where the Z Best came from. So they just was, and when they were growing this okra, they noticed that it was heavily branched and a lot of pods. And so they started making notes about this. And in fact, George was known for being a little bit of, he was very exuberant and kind of exaggerated a little bit. But Mary was always there when they were like talking or giving classes. And Mary was kind of the straight man. And she would always make sure that the truth came out. So this is the truth. The parent plant, because this was written in Mary's handwriting, parent plant had 28 branches and 243 pods. And then over 9 years, they just kept saving the best pods from the most heavily branched plants, replanting those seeds, and then again selecting for the branching and the high pod number. And then they just kept doing that till they had a stable okra. And then they started to give it away. Send me a self-addressed stamp envelope. They started giving it away, and they called it Stewart Z Best. So it's been around for 20 years. Let's keep it going. So when you grow okra, do y'all know that the pods will just dry on the plant, and then once the pod is dry, you take it off, and then the seeds are inside. Did y'all know that? Because my brother came to my garden last summer and said, "Oh, is that how where okra seed comes from?" And I was like, "Wow, I guess not everybody knows that." So I just wanted to put that in there to make sure y'all know that. Okay, now we're going to move to a few cool season vegetables.